Reducing net annual migration was a key election pledge for the Conservatives. The Liberal Democrats, though, opposed a cap on numbers.
Yes or no, do 80% of immigrants come from the European Union, which wouldn't be affected by your cap? Yes or no?
But under the coalition agreement, the Conservative proposal to restrict migration from non-EU countries is going ahead. That means a consultation on permanent limits will be announced today, and to stop a rush of applications before those restrictions are introduced, there'll also be a temporary cap. That will limit the number of new workers from outside the EU allowed into the UK to just over 24,000 before next April. That figure is 5% less than last year. But some employers are concerned the restrictions will prevent them from getting enough staff with specific skills or for positions which they otherwise couldn't fill.
They will want to take on the best person for the job. That may not be someone here or in the EU, it may be someone outside of the EU, and to put a cap is really not an economic way forward. It's the economics of the sixth form, and really the coalition government should rethink this policy totally.
But the Business Secretary Vince Cable says he's confident the cap can be brought in without damaging economic recovery. Daniel Bircher, BBC News.
The British Medical Association claims that the health service is facing arbitrary and indiscriminate cuts because of the financial crisis. The BMA chairman has warned that some of the changes already made to the NHS will result in a poorer service for patients. The children's charity Barnardo says that vulnerable children should be taken into care sooner rather than later. In a report that examined the care system in Britain, the charity found that swift action to remove a child from a troubled family could help prevent mental and behavioural difficulties, as well as saving the local authorities money. And you can get more on that story, of course, and the rest of the new UK news live on the BBC website. You're watching BBC World News. Our main stories so far this hour. Britain is reaffirming that it wants to pull its troops out of Afghanistan within 5 years. The Prime Minister made his pledge after talks at the G20 summit in Canada. And Kyrgyzstan seems to have voted for a new constitution just weeks after the violent ousting of the government, but Russia is warning that political dangers lie ahead there. Also, coming up in World Business Report, G20 leaders try to find common ground on growth while slashing national debts, but the IMF warns that a lack of coordination could harm the global economy, costing it trillions of dollars and millions of jobs. Romania is just days away from a painful step change in its efforts to deal with its economic